What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Finesse Fades coming back at you with another YouTube haircut tutorial. Let's go ahead and get it started. So to start it off, I'm going to use my clipper on the Low Pro FX close to create that first guideline, and I'm going to be taking that guideline all the way around the head, starting at the bottom of the temple, dropping it below the occipital bone. I'm using my clipper close because it helps me create a softer guideline so it can be easier for me to blend out when it comes down to it. And now we're going to take the 1.5 with the lever closed to go ahead and cut the hair down to the desired wavelength. Make sure you guys are using a comb to space the hair out so you can get a nice even cut. After cutting it down to our desired length, we're going to start with our clipper open, creating an inch guideline. And today I'm going to show you guys me creating these guidelines all the way around the head instead of just showing you one side. Also, as you're going through your guidelines, make sure you're paying attention to the growth patterns so that you can cut against the grain and get a smoother fade. Now, directly after creating the guideline, I go ahead and start taking out the first bald line. When taking out that bald line, I would like to be very thorough and take my time because this is one of the most important parts of the fade. If you don't get this part right, then your fade can be very choppy, the transitions won't be smooth, and you just won't be satisfied with the results. Whatever you need to do to get this bald line out, do it. Open and close your lever until you get it as clean as you would want it to look.
Man, this is fire!
The next step is to take the one guard fully closed and create that second guideline. This guideline, you want to make it just as wide so you can spread that blend out. Right after creating that guideline, you want to take your 0 halfway open and soften up that guideline all the way around, and then come back with your clipper open and finish taking out those dark spots. And as you can see right here, like I said before, that 0 won't completely erase that guideline just because there are different hair growth patterns and different things that you have to work against when doing the fade. Sometimes people have dips and stuff in their head that you kind of have to work with, so just take your time and work those guidelines out. Like I said, starting right here, I have that clipper open with no guard, using the corners of the clipper so I can control how much hair I'm taking off. As you can see right here, the blend is already coming together pretty smooth. And all we would have to do is just take out the rest of that bulk and finish the fade. So to basically finish this fade, since I cut his hair down with the 1.5 closed, I start with the 1.5 open to start blending that bulk out. Then I close it, and then the next guard that I use is the 1 to pretty much finish off the rest of the fade. As I'm working that bulk out, to make sure that I have a smooth transition, I use different techniques like the tiger claw method, and I also use the going with the grain method. That helps to basically knock out all that bulk and smooth the hair down at the same time. And then you'll see me taking my guard off to touch on some dark spots as I'm finishing the fade up. And now you can see me go ahead and fade the beard in. When you're doing the fades on the beards, it's literally the same steps as you doing the fade on the head, just in reverse. You start with the clipper open to create that first guideline, and then I generally like to use just my 1 guard so I can go ahead and blend that in with the rest of the hair that's lower and just fade in whatever line is left. When using your razor, you want to make sure that you have the right angle so the razor doesn't skip across the skin. You also want to make sure that you are pulling away from wherever you're razoring. That makes the razor glide much easier on the skin. Also, I like to start my razor line near the mustache first so I can get a good landmark and match the other side right along with it. So before starting the front lineup, I want to go ahead and set in my lineup on the bars so I can basically frame my lineup when I go in and do it. I like starting my lineups this way because it helps me stay balanced, and it also gives me a pretty good visual of what my lineup is going to look like. So I start my lineups in the middle of the forehead, and then I go to whichever side is highest. But with his lineup, it's pretty even, so I just pick a side that I feel most comfortable with. So I start with the right side. Now, I didn't show it in this video, but I'm able to get a very crispy lineup because I used a hot towel and hot lather. I like to do that with a lot of lineups because it cleans the forehead, it makes the hair follicles softer, and it just gives a very, very crispy line. And now I'm using color enhancement. It's basically Kiss Express mixed with 90% alcohol. It's darkest brown mixed with black. And as you can see, I pretty much tap just to control how much spray I'm leaving. I don't want to put too much on there and leave it dark, but I want it to be as natural as possible. Then right after using the color enhancement, I come behind it, use some spritz, and then lay down the hair fibers. And the hair fibers are just to basically help the hair enhancement look more natural, because the color enhancement has a little bit of a wet finish to it. Being very light, don't want to make it too dark. Then after spraying another layer of spritz to basically sandwich it together, I go back with my trimmers and touch up the line to clean it up and just finish up the details of the cut. Like I said, with that razor, make sure you are pulling away from the skin, not too much, but just enough so you can get a nice glide on the skin. Now I know I'm constantly going over the beard line, I'm going over the hairline with the razor and the trimmer multiple times, but to be honest guys, in order to be great, you got to put in the reps, you got to have repetition, and you have to be detailed. The details matter in all of your haircuts. That's how you get booked, and that's how you stay booked. And this may sound crazy, but clients can feel when you're being detailed. They can feel when you're rushing on their head, and they can feel when you're taking your time. They can also feel when you're taking too much time, but the details matter. Make sure you get the details. That's basically the video, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what type of content you guys want to see in the future. We got a lot of things we want to create, so just let me know what you want to see, and thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys later.